If you aren't sleeping well, you aren't living well. Get great devices designed to help you sleep better from Sleep On. Support our programming and shop at bit.ly/HMTV Use promo code DPFSLP15 to save an additional 15% at checkout. Get these Sleep On devices and sleep better than you ever have before. Get them today. CHRIS Akin Presents, and I, of course, am Chris Akin, and joining me on the show today is one that I am very excited for, if for no other reason than I know we're early in the year, but I'm saying this is album of the year up to this point. The album is called Wake Up Dead. It is out on April the 8th. The band is Incite, and joining me to talk about Wake Up Dead and Incite and everything going on is the leader of the band himself, Mr. Richie Cavalera. Richie, how are you, man?
What up, Chris? What up, metalheads? All is well, man. Thanks for those killer words right there. Fuck yeah.
Well, dude, even you have to admit this is the best thing you've done. Yes?
You know, yeah, I think in my personal performance, it's the best thing we've ever done. But, you know, I think, you know, we've had some great records that haven't got the attention that they should have, and hopefully that's what this will create, man, because yeah, we got some kick-ass music, and this definitely is next level.
Absolutely, man. And you know, the interesting thing with it too is it's a slight, and I do mean slight, change stylistically. It's a little more groove oriented than the past records. Not a ton. I mean, nobody's going to mistake you for, you know, a Pantera ripoff per se. I mean, but you did incorporate just slight, subtle changes. Was that on purpose, or is that just where you guys have developed up to this point?
Well, I think a big part of that was the guitar change and the writing. You know, Drew Tang, you know, did a lot of the writing on the last record. I mean, so we went from a lower tune on the last record and tuned up on this album. We had Lennon, our drummer, who actually can write some badass songs. And, you know, he stepped up and was like, look, dude, I got some shit, and sent it to us, and we were just blown away. And, you know, Eli having such a different style and influence than Drew had, just it made this album like what we had set out like since day one to create. This is the style we want. This is the feel. Like when we put this on, this is what we want to jam in the sense of our metal, you know, and we wanted it to be dynamic, you know, like you said, lots of groove with, you know, some hardcore and some punk influence in there as well. So I love what Lennon and Eli brought to the feel, you know, it's just, it's Incite completely now.
No question, man. Now, you mentioned the writing. Obviously, you guys and every other band on the planet had to figure out the way to write a record during the pandemic without it just becoming this miserable, depressed shit record, which I can tell you for a fact, I won't name names, but there's a lot of that being forwarded now that was written in the pandemic. Not so much for you guys, man. Was it hard to not fall into that trap because everybody's sort of into that trap?
What was cool for us actually is, you know, the band has always lived in different states. So the last albums, both of them, the recording and writing process was exactly the same. You know, we did it all through email. We did it all through that. So when this pandemic hit, we were ready to write that way, exactly how we needed. No contact, you know, through email. And I think the more we have done that, we've learned to understand, you know, how things can sound on a demo as opposed to being done the real song. So, you know, we really have grown with that. And I think that's also what's making each record get better and better and better is, you know, just when you have the same guys like Lennon and Elle and me now for 10 years, it just, it creates such an understanding when you're writing these songs. And, you know, we had some depressed but pissed off moments. And, you know, this damn, we were so close and here's the end of the world now. Like, damn it, you know, but I think we took it and used it to our benefit to make something, like you said, that is amazing in our sense of what we've done in the past. So yeah, we were very lucky with this whole damn thing, unfortunately.
Right, certainly. Now, the other thing that really, really jumps out this record is the production. The production is as A level as it could possibly be. And I mean, obviously, Steve Evetts is an amazing production guy, but talk a little bit about his involvement and what he did to enhance it, and not necessarily him, because I have a feeling it had more to do with you guys and what your expectations were than what he saw. But talk a little bit about the improvement production wise.
Yeah, I mean, with Steve now, it's our third record in a row working with him. So from when we walked in on Oppression to now, man, our understanding of what we all feel has grown so much. You know, it's like when we did our first 2 records or 3 records, it was like we were using different people. The process would change. One time we'd be awesome with it, and the next it would just be miserable. So once we, I think, connected with Steve and did the second album, it was just like, we have something here. And each time we get together, it's getting better. It's sounding better, and just building these songs now. So like when we come from demo mode to pre-production with Steve, it's just like, he knows what we're thinking. We know what he's thinking. So it's not such a challenge to like build the songs anymore. And, you know, he's not like, oh, we got to cut half this song out because you guys suck. But now it's like, you know, it's badass and there's little for him to do. So I think now it was like, let's focus on performance of each guy. Let's make sure every guy has the time to not feel rushed and, you know, really just hit some extra things, because Steve knows what we can do and how far to push us to not, you know, take us out of comfortableness, but, you know, not make it too easy. So I did training with Melissa Cross, which I think changed my whole world. You know, I've never had lessons in any way. So to finally kind of do something that added more. And yeah, just Steve, I love him. He's like a 5th member of this band, and I think we'll continue to use him and get better and better and better. And, you know, the big thing with him is the organic sound. You know, he does not copy paste. He does not, you know, put triggers and all this fake stuff. It is, you have to do the take until you get it right. And I think that just creates such a dynamic, organic sound that this album created, and it's awesome.
And that'll actually pay for itself when you get on the stage, because it'll sound similar on the stage. It won't sound, I mean, you've been to shows where bands do not sound anything like their records. This, I mean, and I've seen you guys before, and you do sound a lot like your records. So I think in this circumstance, with the bigness of the sound, it's really going to help propel the band to the next level, don't you think?
Man, that's what, you know, we're working for with each record. It's, you know, something that we believe that we can do, and we know that, you know, no matter what the circumstances or who's in our camp or whatever, that we can be a great band that people feel. And you know, I think, like you said, live, that's a huge thing for us. We want to make a record that we can play live, not where we have to have backing tracks and triggers and all this just crap that has, to me, ruined heavy metal's live feel. You know, one thing for pop and, you know, these things to use that kind of production scale and these tracks and things, but like when you're playing in a club of 100 people and it's sweaty and the monitors suck, it's like, just go up there and rip. But a lot of these bands can't without having, you know, all these tracks and cables and all this just stuff. And for us, you know, we're old school. We grew up in an old school time of just amps, cabs, and that's what dictates how we write, to make sure that we can play that song live. And every song on every record we could play live and be just as awesome as the record. And yeah, I love that about this band.
Right on, man. Well, dude, obviously, you guys signed with Atomic Fire for this release, so it's a different machine behind the music. So why did you choose them, and what do they offer that maybe you didn't feel like you had before?
You know, this band since day one is like, you know, just went to indie small labels. To us, it's always felt more comfortable, you know, to have more say, you know, to talk directly with the owner, to have, you know, that kind of connection. You know, it's always been great for us, and it feels like a comfortable place. So with this time around, you know, Minus had kind of wanted to grow and expand their reach as well, you know, into the international markets, as well as, you know, just bringing a team in that has a little more knowledge and more, you know, hands on deck, sort of say. So Atomic Fire, like, I don't know how we got that or got so lucky. And, you know, it really just came down to, you know, Dez showing this record to Marcus, the owner of Atomic Records. And he just was like, you know, how is this band not big, man? Like, what the hell's going on? And,
Right.
you know, I think the team he's put together, the knowledge he has from Nuclear Blast and being a pioneer of that, and the bands he has, Meshuggah and Opeth, and, you know, it's brought us into a new level. And, you know, I think it was time for that. You know, we could scrape by forever and try to be on small labels to be like justified, but now it was like, no, you know, we don't need to like worry about what people think. Let's do us. Let's do what feels right. And this record label has been nothing but incredible. And to still work with Brad and Minus Head at the same time is like the double win, man.
Sure, no question. With Atomic Fire and mostly with their roster, does it open you up now to having opportunities touring-wise that you didn't have before? Not that you have had bad tours, but let's face it, you've done a lot of tours with your dad, and that while that's great, and your dad's obviously a legend, it doesn't necessarily help you grow because everybody's like, well, it's because it's his dad. You know, does this help you because it's a great set of bands that are not necessarily your dad?
Yeah, and that's what I totally agree with. Like, from the onset of this band, it was about doing it on our own. And that was the one thing we could use that helped us grow live, to learn the business of touring, to learn how to survive on the road. You know, so I was very thankful for that. And, you know, I think, yeah, ever since, you know, 2016, that's been our goal, is to tour with other bands, like you said, to expand our reach, to,
Sure.
you know, show that we can play with anybody. Now we've toured with, you know, Gorgoroth, to the Cancer Bats, to 6 Feet Under, to El Nino. And it's like, that's so cool for us to learn after this Soulfly experience, that we can tour with all these bands. And yeah, everything in business now is, you know, all these bands tour together that are on the same management or the
Sure.
same label. And that's definitely huge for us, because we've never had, you know, co-artists on our labels that have had the kind of reach of, you know, Meshuggah and Amorphous and all these bands that are coming into the realm with us now. So I can't wait to see who we tour with, and, you know, not to mention the management's, you know, roster of incredible bands. So the future's bright, man, and that's how we do our thing, is by playing live. That's where we show the separation of us and other bands, is right there.
Sure. Well, Richie, the single for Deadbeat, or the video rather for Deadbeat, cool single, cool video. What was it about that song? It's weird. When I listened to the album, I was like, probably not the song I would have chosen to be the single, but it fits. It kind of fits what you guys are doing. So how was that song chosen to be the feature track?
I think the main thing about it was being so different in the next feel, I think, for the band. Like, there's no song like that we've ever made, with the ranting, kind of talking, you know, real big, huge, massive chorus, one
Sure.
word type feel. And that felt like a statement to us, especially coming out of the pandemic, and that song literally being about what all of us went through. And I think that's what made the video so popular and so funny, is, you know, everybody kind of reliving that moment, and, you know, seeing KFC boxes and alcohol, and, you know, just really, you know, just those zombie days we all went through. So I think, you know, how we shot it, you know, everybody being in their own house and bubbles, and bringing all the film together and creating that just was killer. And the song, like I said, it's massive. It's a stomper. It reminds me of like Suicidal Tendencies type feel,
Right.
you know, and I love the difference of it. So that's what stood out to us. And I think that's what you'll hear on the last single we're releasing as well, Mental Destruction, is
Okay.
they're such different directions for us, but still Incite in every way, but just grown-up version.
Sure. But in between that, you also gave us the one that just gets everybody talking like crazy, which War Soup, which is obviously you and Max sharing vocals, which a lot of people have wanted to hear for a very long time, wanted to hear that combination. Why did you decide this was the time? Or was it more just the fact that he heard the song, was like, oh, that's the one I'd like to be part of?
Well, we, for all those years, man, it's like he always would get me first on his record. Mm-hmm. So then to like put him on mine at the same time just always never felt right. So now I haven't been on anything Soulfly or Max related in quite a few years. Right. So it felt like, all right, this is the time, and we actually have the perfect song for you. It was already done and recorded and ready to go. And we were like, management was like, let's get Max on a track. And, it was like, this one just works so good. So to have him come in, not only being a father, but the legend that he is, the
Sure.
whole band was just tripping, man. Like, he sits down, he's like, what do you want me to do? And we're like, holy shit, we're telling you what to do. This is so cool. And, we show him the spots, and he sang my words and my structure, which I think gave his accent such a cool sound that I think we haven't heard since like Chaos AD.
Sure.
It was really distinct, and that strong Max voice, and, hearing the words that he speaks, and, being a strong proponent against standing up against people. I think it works so good. The chorus is so Max, and it was an honor. And we're hoping to play this live, sometime, and
Sure.
Really trip people out, because it's a great song. It's an absolute great song.
It really is. Now, I got to tell you, though, man, now you've got, at least me as a fan, you got me fiending for the ultimate Cav Conspiracy with you, Max, Igor, your brothers, the whole Cavalera Conspiracy. Is that something you guys would ever even think about, or is that just like almost impossible because of schedules?
I don't know. It's cool because it actually is that point where, Zion can play drums and Igor bass and Max guitar and have 3 singers. And I don't know. Maybe, he just did Kill or Be Killed. So maybe that'll be the next fun project he does. And, if that's the decision, I'll definitely be a part of it, because I think what we have done for metal, him over the last 35 years, and then our family expanding on that over the last 20 is, you see it today. You have Sure. kids like Corey Taylor's son, and Van Halen's kid, and all these really cool kids that are finally getting to not have to fight so hard to get credit or recognition. And I see it on the comments now. It's like, great job, rather than, oh, you're just here because you're dad. Which
right.
That I feel like I'm the pioneer almost of that, and went through all that and fought the world to show, hey, look. 6 albums, 18 years, it's not just, hey, I want to be big like my dad. It's like, no,
right.
I love this. I feel like I was born into this family to have what I'm doing now, and spread a different kind of message from what Max has and all the other bands. And it's just a cool circle of the way it's gone, man.
Sure. Well, and what's unique about it is, where I think most people that have never had any success but are in bands would be like, oh my God, you've got this great platform to launch you from. I don't think most people see that that's actually an extra tall, extra big hurdle for you to get over. I mean, I know for a fact with Incite, you personally have spent the last 10 years just trying to get past just to be considered as yourself, let alone every review, every interview, everything starting with, well, because of your dad, you blah, 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 right?
Oh yeah, man. I mean, like that. That's how I say when I first started this band, it was questions of, do I change my name? Do I do this? And, I was just like, look, I'm going to be who I'm going to be, but I'm going to do it my way. I mean, you're sitting in what we tour in for the last 10 years. I mean, we've done this ourselves. We've paid our own way. And, the touring has been, the one grateful thing that we did, go, hey, this is the one place that we can actually take something from and not overdo it, and I'm a independent, hardworking, kill them all in this business. And, you know, I think people have seen that. And
Sure.
at the merch booth, how many just fans and metalheads have come up and just been really honest about how it's gone. And I love it, man, to be a part of that and not give up and just show people, hey, man, no matter what the situation, just keep going and, you know, any aspect of your life.
Right on, man. Well, Richie, you're obviously sitting in the touring van. When is that thing going to pull out and start playing some shows?
Well, man, we're excited. We actually got we did a weekend tour in Texas coming up for the release album. Just Texas has been so great to us, so we want to go celebrate with them. Austin, Texas on the 9th, Laredo, Texas on the 8th, and finish it all in El Paso on the 10th. And that's just going to be a killer time with the new record for sale, the vinyls, the shirts, and us playing the entire CD from front to back. Along with, we booked some shows in May in Arizona, New Mexico, and then we were going to go to Europe after that. And then hopefully by the fall have those full-scale U.S. tours going, because I think what this album will do will bring that sort of, hey, let's get them on tour with us before anybody else does. And that's when you really make yourself next level, man.
Right. Any fears? Any fears about being in front of people and shaking hands and all that stuff?
No way, man. I just did a merchandise tour. That's my kind of backup job. And it was incredible. 35 shows, people, you know, spitting on your face and getting close and breathing in their breath. And it was great, man, to feel that again and seeing mosh pits and just feeling like life was returning, man. That's why I'm getting very excited for it, as long as now the war doesn't do anything worse to us, and then we'll be all right, man.
Right on, man. Well, dude, you're certainly going to be all right if they judge you on nothing but the record you have, man. Wake Up Dead is fantastic. It's, like I said, it is my album of the year so far. Not that we're far in, but it is definitely I'll just tell you, it's one that I put on and I can't turn on. Like, I can't listen to a song or two. It's like, you got to listen. It's just an hour of just pummeling, man. It's so good.
I always say, if this album came out under the name of Lamb of God, it would sell 5-10 millions and be acclaimed as a great record. And that's the difference I want people to see and feel with this album, you know?
Sure. Well, I'll acclaim it as a great record no matter what it says on the front. It's fucking awesome. So everybody should check it out. One more time, it is Wake Up Dead. It is out April 8th from Incite. And Richie, where should we tell people to go to keep up with you and the band and tour dates and all that stuff?
Yeah, man, like the usual, go to our Facebook, our Instagram, our Twitter, our, you know, bands in town, all that kind of stuff. We're everywhere right now. The YouTube is blowing up with the new singles, and we're engaged, man. It's us you're talking to on those social medias. So come say what's up, follow us at Incite Band, and spread the word. Metalheads, be safe.
There we go. All right, one more time. Wake Up Dead. It is Incite. And Richie, thanks so much for joining me here on CHRIS Akin Presents.
CHRIS Akin, you stay metal, brother. Thank you so much.